call this Planning Commission on May 14th to order. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the City of Independence, I welcome each of you in attendance, as well as those of you who are watching this meeting online on City 7 to the Planning Commission. First of all, we will get started with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, and then we'll do roll call, please.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Present.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Here.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Here.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Present.
Commissioner Wiley,
Here.
and Chairman McLean.
Here. Okay, for those of you who are not familiar with the meeting, we are presented a case, and then there's a chance for those to speak for a case and a chance to speak against the case. And so in order to be able to speak out loud, we ask that you be sworn in. So if there's anybody who tonight would like to speak to the cases tonight, would you please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in? Do you swear to tell the whole truth before this commission? If so, say I do.
I do.
Thank you. Okay. First case is our consent agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look through the meeting minutes? Are there any changes? If not, I would entertain a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. And we're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Chairman McLean.
Yes. Consent agenda has been approved. All right. Next thing on our agenda is a case to be continued.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion that we continue case 24-200-04 to June 25th, 2024.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. And we're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Chairman McLean.
Yes. Next case is another case who has requested to be continued, case 24-200-05.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion that we continue case 24-200-05 to July 9th, 2024 meeting.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. And we're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case 24-200-05 has been continued to July 9th. All right, our first public hearing is case number 24-125-03, rezoning / PUD to C2, from C2 to R30 PUD 304 South Liberty Street. Staff, will you give us a report, please?
Okay, this case, 24-125-03, this is on Liberty Street, just south of Walnut. Should put labels on our vicinity map, but if you can recognize the street pattern, the square indicates just southwest of the intersection there of actually one house south, or one building south of the intersection at Walnut and Liberty. Actually, this aerial photograph indicates that better there. As you can see, the old Jackson County Health Facility across the street, and the parking lots there north of Walnut, at the top of the drawing.
Mind speak up a little bit? Mic on?
Oh, I'm sorry. And you can see the parking lots there north of Walnut. And the two single-family homes that were rezoned by this body maybe a year ago, a couple of years ago. The two buildings to the south of the one in the square there. As you can see, they're indicated there as single family in the yellow below. You've got industrial down toward the railroad track, and then up along Walnut here, you have C2. And you can see the office building that's at the corner of this intersection. And then this property, which is the vacant multifamily building that sits at this location. And this is the zoning plat, indicating the properties that are around there within 185 feet and their zonings. And we have the site plan that shows the building from above, occupying most of the lot except the portion where these two single-car driveway segments are. It's not contiguous. There's a little step down, a wall between the two of them, but basically you've got a two-car driveway here that can take 4 vehicles. Okay, this is the basement of the okay. This is the basement of the proposed building, or the rehab building. It would remain a storage area and not be occupied as for residential uses. Okay, I guess I'm not being quite loud enough. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Okay. This is the first floor, as you can see, because it's the same level as the vehicles there on the north. And a potential layout of 1 or 2 of the units that would be in this 3-unit building as indicated by the applicant. And then a 3rd unit, which would maybe on the 3rd floor or the 2nd floor here, or this could be the floor that would have 2 units, and the 1st floor would be one that has not been determined. So this is the elevations as provided. So the front of this building is actually what's down there in the lower right corner there. So basically you have a covered porch, and then you have sets of stairs on each side there leading to the 2 doors for what is configured right now as 2 units on the bottom floor. So the building's much longer, goes back than it is wide, as you can see. So this is a request by Shane Sparks with SB Equity Management to rezone the property from C2 General Commercial to R30 PUD High Density Residential Planned Unit Development. Background: the applicant recently purchased this property at 304 South Liberty Street, which is a vacant and vandalized property. It was previously an apartment building with 2 units upstairs and then another on the lower floor that also incorporated a commercial storefront fronting Liberty Street. The applicant wants to downzone the property and eliminate the commercial aspect of the building and restore the multifamily use. The 59-foot by 76-foot lot contains this multi-residential building that covers most of the lot, and with its 2 driveways there on the north that would accommodate 4 vehicles. The building itself contains over 4,550 square feet of space to be divided into 3 living units. Could either be 2 units on the ground floor or 1 above, or the reverse, 1 on the ground floor and 2 on the second floor. The structure is cladded with siding, and it has covered brick porches with the first floor units abutting the sidewalk. The first 4 units have office, bedroom, bathroom, living room, and kitchen. The second floor will have pantry, kitchen, living room, bathrooms, and bedrooms. The basement will be used for storage or as a utility room, but there will not be any living units in the lower level or the basement level. When the apartment building was constructed, this was a residential neighborhood. It is now a neighborhood primarily of commercial uses, with a remnant of 2 older single-family homes there to the south, and that's the entire residential aspect to that street now. As far as consistency with the Independence for All strategic plan, this rezoning would allow the building to be reoccupied with 3 units. The reuse of this building could contribute to the strategic plan by allowing the property to continue with a with a residential use. The comprehensive plan guiding principles most applicable. The comprehensive plan, of course, designates this site for mixed uses. The proposed application can provide affordable living unit options by preserving some of the mixed use types and density levels currently, at least in the surrounding neighborhood, if not right there in the immediate area. As far as historic and archaeological sites, this property is not located within the historic district and hasn't been designated as a historic building. Public utilities, the structure has long been connected with all utilities. Everything's available right there in the right-of-way in this built-up existing neighborhood. So with this first picture, we're looking west directly at the property. So you can see that front porch that I was talking about with access to the existing units on either side via those 2 sets of stairs. And then you can see one of the driveways there, and then there's the other one is on the other side of that of the concrete there before the fence. So this is the south side of the building. That's closer to the property line. And then here's the north side here. And this is looking north toward Walnut. So you can see the square. And then there's that large parking lot there that used by the county offices. And then this is the signage right there at the Jackson County Health across the street. That northern portion that's vacant land. And then this is looking south down Liberty, down toward the railroad spur. And of course, you see the two single-family homes there to your right, and then everything else right there around the tracks is industrial. And then there's the county health building itself, southeast of the property. Staff recommends approval of this rezoning and the preliminary development plan with the following conditions. The structure will be limited to 3 residential units. And in total. Number 2, the basement will be used for storage as a utility room without any living units, or as a storage room and a utility room. 3, include detailed and refined elevations and floor plans with a final development plan. Given the lot coverage of the existing structure and the paved spaces, the landscaping requirements listed in the UDO will not be required. 5, a cross-access easement must be obtained for the northern portion of the driveway. The applicant must apply for a building permit in 30 days and begin construction in 60 days of the permit issuance, or the dangerous building case that's on this property will resume.
Okay, thank you. I have a quick question. On the other side of the street, is there any R6, R12, R30 on the other side of the street?
We'll go back up here.
Sorry,
So it's, as you can see, it's all industrial zoning.
other than there's 2 lots.
It's just that, yeah, those 2 lots to the south, and those are the ones that they, in fact, had been industrial, and you all downzone them to R6.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Madam
sorry.
Chair.
Yes.
Is the health department, is it vacant, or is it being used, or what's Jackson County plan with that building? Do you know?
My understanding is they've moved out, but I'm not sure what the county's doing with that building.
Okay, so it's still owned by the county, and it looks like it might be split industrial C2 in the middle of it, if I'm looking at that correctly.
Yeah, the grassy section is actually the C2 section. The building sets in the industrial. Yeah.
Okay, now you say the 2 parking spots. Go back to your picture that you had showing where the parking area is. Your live pictures. I think you have one more. Keep going. Right there. Is that a fence in between the 2?
That's the property to the north. Okay. There is the 2 portions of this have I believe it's hard to tell here. I think there's like a raised concrete.
Well, I'm still
In the
trying
mi-
to figure out, you say you're gonna park 4 cars between the building and that fence, is what you're planning on? So it looks like you guys said, is that correct?
No, that's the reason for the easement on the north, because
So you're saying that they're
They're actually going to use what's on the other side of the fence.
The driveway is
Yeah.
what it looks like to me, it's a driveway. Now, is that supposed to be a shared driveway, or is that, you're saying easement, so in other words, they're gonna have to buy some property from the law office?
Well, that's what condition number 5, the get a cross-access easement with the property from the north. So they would need to get a cross-access easement to be able to park there.
Does that mean purchase it, or just get approval to park?
Just
cars?
get a approval from them in a easement recorded with the county.
Okay. Thank you.
If they obtain that access, is the parking then going to be like a diagonal parking? Or is it going to be like it's shown on the picture?
No, like it's shown on the picture. They need, for what they're doing, for 3 units, they will need 4 parking spaces.
For 6 cars.
That sounds like a recipe for trouble.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
That's just my opinion, though.
Well, let's bring up the applicant, and then we can make a better, or have a better understanding. Will the applicant come forward, please, and state your full name and address?
Have a seat. Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the commission, I'm Jim Gamble. I'm an architect. I have a firm called the Gamble Company of some years in Independence. And tonight I'm representing this case for the applicant, who is Sean Sparks, who is with us tonight. And he recently purchased this 304 South Liberty Street property, and it was vacant and vandalized. The property is one door south of the law office. By the way, he bought it from the law office. So they're the owner, had been the owner of this property, and so the forthcoming easements that you're talking about, that accounts for the willingness of them to participate. We're one door south of the law office. That is one on the corner of Liberty Street and Walnut Street Ring Road that circles the Independence Square. Currently, the building on the property is in considerable disrepair. It's previously an apartment building with 5 apartments and also had a commercial frontage on it. 5 units plus commercial, including the basement. The desire of the owner developers to downzone the property, eliminate the commercial aspect of the property, rezoned as commercial property sometime in the past, restore the land and the building again to multifamily use, more specifically, planned unit development R30. This process, incidentally, follows the usual desirable step zoning guideline function, moving from north to south. First is the commercial Independence Square development, then Walnut Street, then the commercial law office on the southwest corner of Walnut and Liberty, then the subject multifamily project, and then 2 adjacent properties to the south and Liberty that have been recently rezoned back to single-family residence. The new owner intent is to take an existing vacant, substandard, and vandalized property, create a completely remodeled 3-unit apartment complex that will be a pleasing addition to the parcels immediately to the south and the historic square. And we're here to answer any questions that you might have and help this along.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
In the presentation, or excuse me, in the report, it lists that there will be 1 up, 2 down, or 1 down, 2 up.
That is to be determined, but 3 units and not use the basement.
So,
Okay.
What's going to determine which way that goes?
The best floor plan usage and the exiting that we can do for it.
Okay.
That has not all been done. By the way, the floor plans that the staff showed you are pretty much as-built plans of what existed there before, rather than new floor plans for what will be in the future on the inside. On the outside, there will be cosmetic appearances, all new windows, all new doors. They'll besides paint, there will be some other requirements to clean up the outside. And we're not conforming, because we can't, completely to the dramatic landscaping, but there will be some landscaping in front that we can accommodate as best we can.
Because there's not much of a
There's
setback.
hardly any room, everything's paved.
Yeah,
Madam Chair.
yes.
Okay, on the dangerous building part of it, do we know exactly how dangerous it is on the inside, or how unstructured?
Well, kids have
safe?
been in there vandalizing it. It made it worse, but it could have been dangerous to them. They tagged it dangerous because, I don't know, it was in the middle of construction. There's part of it that's been ripped out on the inside of somebody starting construction or getting ready to.
Okay,
So the criteria of why they call it dangerous, I don't know, that's pretty common these days.
okay, so it's not really a structural part in the
No,
basement?
it's
or
not falling
anything?
down or anything.
It's not
no.
falling down or anything, just outside, looks like it's falling down,
Correct.
that's about it. My biggest thing is gonna be the parking. Because you say 3 units, that's gonna bring at least 5 cars, because you usually have, people have 2 people per apartment. I know according to our code, I think we're supposed to have like 1.2 or 1.3 per bedroom.
I submitted. Brian, you want to show this to him? I submitted this to the staff when we turned the rest of it in, and it shows 5 parking spaces.
Oh, okay.
We have the 4 that you saw in the photograph before,
Right.
and then there is another parking space right here behind on paving.
That's not an alleyway, that's,
No, that is part of this property, and it's not a public alleyway at all, but for perfection, to get out to Walnut Street, part of the cross easement agreement will be to go behind the law office, that's to the west, and there is a driveway to Walnut Street, and that'll be part of the cross easement.
okay, I did see that in the pictures, that's why I was wondering if they could use that or not.
Right.
Okay, so that's gonna be part of it also, okay. That sounds better, now you got 5 parking spaces, that's
Right.
a little better, okay, thank you. My biggest thing is that, we're gonna try to make this a UD 30, which, we have specifications for that, which is the landscaping is probably the biggest thing. Is that the only thing hampering on this building to bring it up to a code for UD 30?
We had to come out, use that obviously for the density, to meet the density to have 3 units. Besides the landscaping, we can't, the site doesn't allow offering any amenities necessarily. And just the general open space requirements that are a big part of a PUD. I think that's the major.
So I'm just wondering if we grant this one UD 30, and then eventually somebody wants to buy the law office, and then they're gonna want to change that to UD 30 maybe, I don't know. And then tear it down, make a big apartment complex there, because it's already zoned this half, and then they're gonna own the other half. I just wonder if we're gonna run into trouble in that aspect or not.
If somebody wanted to do that, they'd have to come back here and
I know
come
they'd have to
before
come
you
back.
again and go through a plan, so.
Okay, but otherwise, the only thing really hampering on the UD 30 is the landscape. There's nothing else that would physically keep it from being good UD 30 property?
It's an infill urban site, so there's no, engineer required drainage issues on this existing building. There's no place to put the open space, so that's in landscaping. Those would be the big things.
Those are the
And,
big things.
and any kind of amenities, you're really not offering.
Okay, my next question is going to be, since they're remodeling, do they have to have brick or stone facade on the front of it? like most of them have to do? Don't they have to do that on UD 30?
No, but I
I thought
mean,
that was part of the code or something they had to do something like that when they have something like that built in UD 30. Am I wrong?
I think we used to have a minimum masonry requirement.
Yeah. So that's why I was wondering if that's something they gotta do.
They just have to meet the non-residential design standards that's laid out in the code. So it's not necessarily brick or stone, but there is a specific, there's a list of types of facades that they can use.
And that would be enforced on this project?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's why I was wanting to make sure of that.
I think you're just remembering our tighter requirement that we did used to have that masonry
Okay,
requirement on apartments, I think.
right, okay, well, I just wanted to check on that. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions of the applicant?
I do. Jim, I'm just curious, excuse me, Mr. Campbell. The 3 apartments, potentially size, because I'm just wondering about the number of cars as well and how many occupants might be in each apartment.
Well, we're supposed to have at least 4, and we have 5 parking spaces. If you go 2 doors further to the north, you'll be on the Square property, which is exempt for having any parking. They park on the street, and that's what's happened. This had 5 apartments and a commercial use prior to it, and we
Okay.
are down zoning and down usage of the property considerable. And that's our intent, and we're going to make it look 1,000% better than what it looks now.
So 3 apartments, you have any idea what size?
Well, it'll be 3 apartments. It had 5. It had the use of the basement. We're not doing that. And, but we will utilize either in storage or apartment square footage of the first and second floor.
Which was how much square footage?
Well, the total square footage was around 4,000 in the whole building, but
So probably 3 at 1,000 each.
Yeah, that, well, Laura one's probably gonna be bigger,
1,500.
1,500.
1,500 and then 750? Okay.
okay.
Well, the building, yeah. Yeah. So you're talking multiple floors, the square footage or just
Yeah,
square footage for the whole
whole
building?
thing, in your report, you said approximately 4,000 square feet.
Well, that's the lot size.
I thought that was the building size you
What
said.
The
is
building, the building is 2,000, but that's one,
okay.
2,000 square, but that's talking one
we're
floor
talking
of it.
600.
Yeah, they're getting smaller now.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That was all
Okay.
I had.
Madam Chair, Jim, do they have any problems with the 30-day start period and all
Well,
that?
we're going to have to get with it.
I know, but I mean, is there any problems with fees and financing, so you're able to do all that?
Well, you'll have to ask the owner if the money's in hand. I think it is.
Well, that's what I was.
But we'll get the plans squared away and get them to City Hall and wait for them on their reluctant approval.
Okay, so no problems with the financing. Okay, that's like I like to hear. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I did have one question for you, Brian. In the actual recommendations, it says 2 ground, 1 up. If they bring back 2 up, 1 ground, would we have a problem with the way this is written? Do we need to remove the part
Yeah,
that's in the
If-
parentheses?
Yeah, you probably should remove what's in the parentheses.
Okay.
Good question.
Okay?
Thank you, thank you.
All right.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak for this case? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against this case? Okay, hearing none. Commissioners, well, I want to bring up, I want to ask the question of all of us, because this is a rezoning. There's only 2 residential lots on this street. So what is the highest good for this street? I mean, and I guess my question to the city is, what was the strategic wish for that street? I don't remember specifically.
Well, the comp plan calls for mixed use, so that it's kind of vague.
That's generic.
I would
So-
say, my thought is we have a housing shortage, and to go from a dilapidated, vandalized building to 3 apartments for somebody to rent.
Well, and then also, he
makes
made
me-
a good point. We're going from the city, which is commercial, then we go to the law office, which has a buffer, then you go to UDO, then we go to the residential. The problem is, on the other side of the residential, we're back to industrial. And I don't know what's there. I don't know. I can't remember what buildings are there. You
Okay.
showed buildings. I don't know what's actually there. I guess I can bring it up and look, but are those buildings planned on staying, or are they gonna?
Are those the buildings that lead to the Bingham? I should know, you would think, but
Yeah, this ends with the T intersection there. That's at, what street is that? It's not Elm. I forget what it
it's
is.
Pacific? Does it go down to
Pacific, yeah, that's right. So yeah, it would be beyond that building we're looking, beyond that water tower that you see over the top of the house, the roof of the houses there, yeah, the Bingham estate is on the other side of that. So,
And then the new train museum's on the street to the east.
no, west.
Is
Or
it?
the train museum,
Yeah, the new train museum.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
That's on Pacific, and that's gonna be,
That's, I thought that was closer to the Trails Museum,
isn't it?
which is over by the,
It is the
over by the water,
That's
okay, by the water
West.
tower.
The old trails, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's on Pacific.
Yeah, it'd be to the west.
You got Osage, looks like you got residential on Osage. The only thing we got, looks like there might be apartments already
We're
down the
looking
street.
at Google Maps, in case
Yeah.
anybody's
Yeah, I'm looking
wondering.
at Google Maps, looks like there's apartments on down the road. I don't know what this big building here, with parking lots on
Is
it.
that the old Examiner?
That's wondering, if that's what that is? Okay, so that's the Examiner. So, I mean, we got that, you got the 2 buildings, and I don't know what's on the other building, it's next to the Examiner. So, that's what's down there. I mean, Jim did bring up a good point that, it's the way the city's designed, the way it's laid out, to go ahead and do a UD 30. I just don't like it doesn't have the landscaping that we're supposed to be recommending for it. I mean, that's what the problem is I see with it.
We could indicate that he should, at least provide what his drawing shows. Where was that? Along the front. Where was it? I mean, it shows, plantings along the front. I'm not sure if we can, we might be able to do some stuff in the southwest corner.
I mean, I don't know how they had, who built that out, put that porch and built
I was
it
gonna
out so
say,
far. Yeah,
Porch off.
that porch, take the porch off, be about. Yeah.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I concur with Commissioner Wiley with the use of this property. I mean, our option is to probably leave it set there and somebody's going to come along and tear it down or something. And we are in desperate need of affordable housing in our community, and I think this fits the bill, so I would be in favor.
Okay, any more discussion, questions of the applicant or city before I close the public hearing? Okay, this case is closed to the public, and I would entertain any more discussion or a motion.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion, we approve case 24-125-03, rezoning 304 South Liberty to PUD 30 with the, let's see which one here. Amendment number 1, construction will be limited to 3 residential units and take out the 2 ground floor. They can do whichever way they want to do it.
I'll second it.
And we're ready for a vote.
Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yeah.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
and Chairman McLean.
Yes. Case number 24-125-03 has been approved. Thank you. Okay, next case, number 24-400-07, short-term rental of 9913 North Linwood Avenue. And we're ready for a report.
Okay. As you mentioned, this is case 24-400-07, a short-term rental at 9913 Linwood Boulevard. The applicant is Brian Critchfield, and the action is to allow for a short-term rental. And this is in the southwest part of the city near 31st Street, just south of 31st Street. So I provided the zoning map here, and you can see that this property and the area surrounding it are all R6 single-family residential zoned properties. Here's an aerial photograph, and as you can see, these are all single-family homes in the area. This is the notification map. These are the properties that were notified of this hearing tonight. And then here is a map showing the proximity to other short-term rentals. The house, if you can see that, that is yellow, is the location of the property, and it is there are no short-term rentals within 500 feet of this subject property. So, for the background, the applicant seeks approval of the Planning Commission to legally use this property as a short-term rental. The property history: this residential lot was originally platted in June of 1925 as Lot 5 of Lakeside Farms. The home on the property was built in the same year. In 1965, it was zoned R1, single-family residential. In 1980, the zoning was updated to R1B, single-family residential. And in 2009, when the current version of the UDO was adopted, the zoning was updated to R6, single-family residential. The zoning of the property has remained unchanged since this update in 2009. So essentially, this property has always been a single-family residential property. So the physical characteristics of the property: the home sits on basically a half-acre lot. It's a two-story home with a basement. The building has a stone facade. A large driveway lies on the north side of the building. The first floor has a living room, dining room, office, kitchen, bathroom, and a sunroom. The second floor has 2 bedrooms, and the basement has an additional living room, laundry room, bathroom, and a bedroom. The characteristics of the area: the area surrounding the subject property features numerous single-family homes of a similar age. The architectural design of the surrounding homes is a wide variety of styles. The character of the area is that of a single-family neighborhood. Parking: the property has a long and wide driveway adjacent to the house. The driveway can easily accommodate many vehicles. The applicant has provided a drawing showing that the space can accommodate more than 9 vehicles. The paved driveway space is not an issue. Regarding unruly guests and security, the applicant lives in Independence. The property management and booking will be handled by the applicant. The applicant does not currently have a noise monitoring device in place, but has indicated that one will be installed. This shall be completed before the business license is issued. In the event of an emergency, the applicant is needed, he has indicated the ability to respond to issues and concerns in a timely manner. The short-term rental requirements: noise monitoring. The applicant does not have a noise monitoring device in place at the moment, but has indicated that they will install one as required by code. This will have to be done before the business license can be issued. Trash removal. Trash pickup is scheduled as a weekly service on Thursday by Ted's Trash. Property listing will be on Airbnb and VRBO. The business operations and security, the applicant will oversee site security and general business operations, including screening customers and coordinating bookings. The short-term rental checklist, the form was completed by the applicant covering licensing, future inspections, insurance, and on-site information posting, and so forth. Fire safety, a fire evacuation plan has been submitted along with the floor plans of the house. The fire escape plan must also be posted per code requirement. City inspection, the property has been inspected by the fire inspector and passed the initial short-term rental fire and life safety inspections. And as mentioned, there are no other short-term rentals in the area. Therefore, the application follows the density limitations of the city code. And for the pictures of the property, this is looking directly at the property facing in a southeast direction. This is facing south, looking at the adjacent property. This is facing southwest, looking down Linwood Boulevard. This is facing west, looking kind of across the street and, down Linwood as well. This is looking directly across the street. This is facing north up Cedar Street, so the street kind of curves, and the east and west part is Linwood, and then the north and south part of the street is actually Cedar Street. This is northwest, looking at the adjacent property. And this is looking at the driveway that I mentioned. And then again, this is the property from a different angle, looking directly at the property. And staff recommends approval of the short-term rental. I did not, with the following conditions. I forgot to put those on there. The conditions are, 1, the property shall be Okay, 1, the short-term rental shall obtain a business license in accordance with the city code, Article 3, Chapter 5 of the city code. Number 2, the business license must comply with safety and other standards established by Section 14.424 of the city code. The maximum occupancy of the premises shall be limited to 8 persons total. The maximum number of bedrooms shall be 4. And the noise monitoring system shall be installed and activated. Good neighbor guidelines, evacuation plans, and other notices must be properly posted prior to approval of the business license.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, commissioners, any questions before we bring up the applicant?
Madam Chair. Josh, okay, let's go back to your recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my first one says the property shall be rezoned. So we going to take that out then?
Yes, that needs to be removed. That
Okay.
that was, I kind of used the template from a previous case in which the property needed to be rezoned. This property is correctly zoned. That's just my mistake, but that does need to be removed.
So we're only going to have 5 recommendations then?
That's correct.
Okay.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Josh, my question is on the maximum occupants. It's always been 10 with 4 bedrooms because we've allowed for 2 children. So is it 8 or is it 10?
The reason that this says 8, let me just double check on the application, is that the application submitted by the applicant suggests 8. So under the question, what is your proposed total occupancy, the applicant put 8. So we're not asking for more than the applicant is asking for.
Okay.
And perhaps if the applicant did that in error, they might, you might
Want
ask
to make
them
that
about
change?
but yeah.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Will the applicant come forward, please, and state your name and your address?
Good evening. My name is Brian Critchfield. My current address is 518 South Reiner Road in Buckner. It actually said I reside in Independence. I always did live in Independence. We just moved out to the country, like very recently.
Thank you. You can put that up on top if it's easier, so you don't have to lean over.
Thank you. Oh, like
Like,
this.
yeah, literally set it up there.
Appreciate it.
Sometimes easier. Tell us what you would like us to know about the project, why you asked for 8, not 10.
Sure. I'm not sure on the 8. I thought that it was 8, was a limit of 8. I think that's why I put that. I wouldn't have taken off 2 just because, but, I have a small family business here in Independence. We've been going since 2019. My wife and I started it. We mainly do home renovation, and we've flipped probably over 200 houses here in Kansas City. Probably about 25% or more have been right here in Independence, actually. So we just flipped this house. We put about $40,000 into it, fixed up the inside and the outside. Looks immaculate. We actually planned to sell it, and then honestly, we kind of fell in love with the property. It's beautiful. I own another property not too far away, and then we just kind of got to thinking about it, and we were like, we'd love to hold this house. So we want to hold on to it and do this with it. We actually have another short-term rental not too far away. We've been doing that since 2019. We've had great experience. Every dollar that we've ever made from that location has gone right back into the house, and some of the neighbors would attest to that because it's had a lot of money put back into it. So, yeah, we rehabbed the house and we want to keep it. And sorry, I'm a little nervous, but yeah, that's pretty much the plan as it states there. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Commissioners?
When did that tree fall over?
Which one?
On the roof of that house. what I
Yeah,
saw.
so the one fell on the front right before
Right.
we bought it, and I think that was one of the catalysts that had them wanting to sell it.
Oh,
'Cause
that's what I saw on Google Maps, that
Yeah.
tree laying on top of that house.
Yeah. Yep, it's kind of funny, but yeah, when we bought it, we fixed that, and during the rehab, another tree fell on the house. So I'm not even gonna get started how expensive it is to fix one of those roofs. So
Sure.
it was very unexpected, but we spent a lot of money fixing the roof on that place, which is beautiful. It's clay tile roof, stone siding, so which we will always leave just like it is because it's beautiful and it'll last quite a long time. So, did that answer your question?
Okay, you said you moved to Buckner, so you're about how far away time-wise?
About 20 minutes.
So it is 20 minutes? Okay, still
Yep.
in 20 minutes range, okay. Any problems with any of the approvals that the city recommends?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Scott? Is that
Brian.
your name? Would you like to change your maximum occupancy to 10?
Yeah, if it's not any issue, I wouldn't want to have that
So it's
limitation.
adults per bed, so that's 8 adults, but you can't have up to 10, which could then include children sleeping on sleeping bags or whatever.
Yeah, it's based on our other place, it's very rare you'd get that many, but yeah, I mean, being able to do that would be good.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Is there anyone here who would like to speak for this case? Come on up. You're sworn in, right?
I am.
Good.
My name is Andrea Berkman, and we live. There we go. My name is Andrea Bergman, and my husband and I live at 9909, which is the home that is just north of the property. We want to support this. We've got some rental property in the neighborhood that's not kept up fabulous. This gentleman has done an amazing job with his renovation. The tree was there for at least 3 years.
Oh,
That tree
jeez.
was there, the one was on Google
Yeah,
Maps.
that's why it's on Google Map. At least 3 years that it laid there across the front of the house. We're happy to have them. We feel like short-term rental, that it's more likely to be kept up. And that's kind of where we're at on it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Is there anyone else here who would like to speak for this case? Is there anyone here who would like to speak against this case? Hearing none. Commissioners, any more questions of the applicant? Or are we ready to close this case? All right. Closing the public portion of this case. Commissioners, any more discussion, or I would entertain a motion?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'll make a motion that we approve case number 24-400-07, short-term rental at 9913 East Linwood Boulevard, with a change from 8 occupancy to a maximum of 10.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
And we're ready for a vote.
All right. Commissioner Ashbaugh,
Yes.
Commissioner Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Nesbitt,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill,
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley,
Yes.
and Chairman McLean.
Yes. Thank you. And case number 24-400-07, short-term rental at 9913 North Linwood Avenue has been approved. Good luck, and thank you for improving the neighborhood.
Yes.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I just want to ask a question to staff while we're close to this subject.
It's roundtable. You can do what you want.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for the latitude. On this list, they said there's a lot of rental property, and there are several LLCs on there. So my question is just, do you guys have the ability to look into seeing if any of those are short-term rentals in disguise?
Yes, so we have a software called Rentalscape that they monitor Airbnb, VRBO, all multiple different sites, and they look for short-term rentals that are not licensed. So we actually can see almost all of the short-term rentals that are either licensed or unlicensed in the city. And so one of the things that our business licensing division has really started to do is to, or I guess Rentalscape sends them emails, or sends them letters, to say you need to apply for a short-term rental business license. And so they're notified that way to either apply for this and come before you all, or to cease operations and figure something else out. So we are aware of where short-term rentals are, non-licensed short-term rentals are operating. I don't believe that there are any of the ones in the nearby area. Next meeting, there is another short-term rental that was notified just down the street. It's over 500 feet away, but it's down Linwood, that was notified of just that. And so, but they'll be on the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Do you have anything for the greater good that we need to know, other than next meeting is loaded?
So you have a lot of cases at the next meeting. I think you have 5 short-term rentals. So I did want to mention that we do have a new agenda management software. The software that we had before is no longer being supported. So when you get your electronic packet, it's going to look different. You will actually click on it. It'll look like you will have to download something, as opposed to being able to kind of see the sheet and just click on the text. It'll look different. And so don't be shocked by that. It's legit. And you do have to click, and I think it'll give you like a little download arrow that you'll have to click on to actually download the packet.
Yeah, it downloads the whole packet, right?
Yes.
That's kind of nice,
Yep.
actually.
Yep. So just don't be surprised or don't be shocked by it, but it'll look different.
Okay. All right, anything else?
You're still mailing them, though, right?
Sorry?
Are you
Just to
still
be-
mailing?
Yes. Yeah, we still mail the packets. Yeah, this is your electronic email version that you'll get. So yeah, that'll look different.
All right, commissioners?
Another question, staff, just real quick. So you knew they had another short-term rental?
Yes. Yeah, they can have up to 5. So an applicant can have up to 5. Gets a little tricky and weird with the,
That's what bothered me. It says
Yeah.
it's really close, but it must be over 500 feet.
yeah. And so we do check the distance. It is, when you talk about the number that a particular owner can have. They can have 5. Does get a little tricky if somebody were to have multiple LLCs because we can't really regulate that. But yeah, there is a limit. We do check the limits and things of that nature.
Who doesn't have do you have our cheat sheet for short-term rental?
I've never had a cheat sheet in my life.
Or
We can
Eric needs a cheat
we
sheet.
can get you the
Dan,
cheat
do you
sheet.
have one?
Yeah.
So maybe can you email us the cheat sheet again?
Yes, we can do that.
Sorry to call it
Yeah.
a cheat sheet, but
No,
I don't know another
uh,
word for it, but it helps
yep.
us know all of the things. that are
Yeah, we
short-term.
did, and I apologize. I hadn't thought about that, but yeah, we had kind of a sheet that goes over each code section of the short-term rental that talks about each thing. For example, like
How many
tonight's
people? How many
the
feet apart?
the management has to be within 1 hour's drive. So wherever that is.
It would be nice to have that in front of us before the next
Yep.
one, just as a reminder.
Okay. Yep, we can do that.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Okay, this meeting is adjourned at 7:01. Adjourned.